Welcome, everybody, into the WBGU 88.1 FM studio. Here we are. I'm Dan Ridenour. We got Ben Korak and Dustin Pelter for Falcon Softball here in a moment on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Looking for a BGSU Athletics talk radio show? Tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m., where a panel of Falcon Media Sports Network members discuss the hottest BG sports topics. Only on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Back here at Missouri Field with Bowling Green softball, first game of this doubleheader today, the MAC opening and home opening doubleheader. The Falcons took a 1-0 win in the pitcher's duel between Mackenzie Langen of Central Michigan and Mackenzie Kraftsick of Bowling Green. And now game two starting right now. Myself, Ben Korak, along with Dawson Pelter. Dawson, heck of a first game. We saw some good pitching performances, and I think that's going to jump into the second game as well?
Absolutely, yeah. We will maintain the same – or no, we switched to Campo for pitcher. She has started 8 games so far this season, this one being her 9th. And then Madison Wendell for the Falcons. This is her 8th start, 7 previous going into this game. Both pitchers, elite pitchers. It'll be exciting to see for sure.
Wendell delivers just outside of the black to Petrovic, leading off for Central Michigan. She had 3 at-bats, no hits in the first game today. Top of the order didn't do too much against Bowling Green's Mackenzie Kraftsick, who pitched 7 innings full without an earned run, and now up to 21 innings straight without an earned run for Mackenzie Kraftsick. Just 1 run given up in 2 complete games against Charleston Southern last weekend. Here's a ground ball over to first base, just foul. And 1-2 will be the count to Petrovic from Wendell, who's quick working here early. Petrovic, Lotus, and Kuzera will be the first 3 for Central Michigan. Falcons lineup and Central Michigan's lineup will remain pretty similar to each other. The catchers will switch out for both teams. 1-2 pitch from Wendell, slapped up the middle to second base. Hannah Hunt flubbed it a second and was not able to get the ball over to first base in time. So Hannah Hunt will be attributed an error there. And an early base runner for Central Michigan, Petrovic on first via the air.
And Hunt had a very similar look to that in the previous game versus Central Michigan. Able to field that one, but unfortunately on this play just bobbled it a little bit, slightly late. But next hitter up for the Chippewas.
Ground ball up the middle, past the diving Cam Kaufman. Back-to-back base runners for Central Michigan. The reach on error and then a single for Emma Lotus. And we're seeing her early back-to-back weak contact. That one found a gap, the other one to Hunt on the error. And this is kind of what Madison Wendell does. She lets soft contact, which means hits all the time, but she gets fire and she'll be in good shape. She's got to force it every bag now. No outs, top of the first inning. This one sliced out of play. Early swinging a lot. This one, Jenna Kuzera, the left fielder, had a hit. In the latter half of last game, the 1-0 BG win. Oh, 1 the count from Madison Wendell. This one fouled down the first base line. She was in foul territory when she grabbed it. Taylor Barrett was. And thus it's going to be foul, though I think the last bounce was in fair territory. So it's going to be an 0-2 count rather than a touch on first base, although both runners would have advanced. Of course, second and first, the base runners with no outs. Kuzera at the dish. Wendell delivers on the inside edge, but just missed. McKee, the catcher for the Falcons today, framed it to the middle, but not enough. One-two pitch from Wendell. Popped up in the air, out of play, down the third baseline. And I'm sure if you're Madison Wendell, you're really looking for a ground ball here.
Absolutely, yeah. Not a sight that we're really accustomed to seeing so far this afternoon with 2 base runners out there, but we'll have to see what Wendell can do.
Central Michigan only had 2 base runners once last game. This pitch on the inside portion low. McKee has to block it, keep the runner at second base. 2-2. The count now a ball to Kuzera. Kuzera, the sophomore. So is Madison Wendell, the transfer from Central Michigan, looking waist high on the inside and just missed again. Full count now from Madison Wendell to Kuzera. 6 appearances last year for Wendell and with the Chippewas. 4 2/3 innings pitched, 4.5 ERA. This is a ground ball to shortstop. Cam Kaufman gets it over to second base for the out, splits the runners first and third with 1 out. Will be the situation on a nice play by Kaufman to cut off the runner from first base.
Yeah, excellent play by Kaufman. Would have liked, if you're a Falcon faithful, to see a double play there. But regardless, you get 1 out when you've been struggling a little bit. And now the next batter up for the Chippewas, London Williams yet again.
One of the power bats in this order for Central Michigan. 4 home runs, 4 doubles on the season for London Williams. They have an unfortunate error in the 7th inning of last game that you could construe as leading to the run scored by Bowling Green. Made it first and third with no outs. And Mackenzie Langen had to pitch out of that situation. Madison Wendell has a decent situation to pitch out of here. 1 out, runners at first and third. And the 4-hitter up to the plate. Shows bunt, hits it twice. Right off the ground, back up into her bat. And that's a foul ball on London Williams. So 0-2 is the count.
And Wendell pitching to the catcher, Ava McKee. She's a sophomore with her 7th start and 7th game appearance of this season.
Hitting pretty well. But Ashley Chevalier maybe the superior strictly catcher. 0-2 delivery from Wendell looking for the outside edge. Walking down to second base is Jenna Kuzera. And does not draw a throw from McKee. Petrovic quite fast, might have been able to score from third base, so the Falcons will allow Kuzera to get down to second. Now second and third with 1 out for Wendell to work out of. The pitch to London Williams, again outside for another ball. 2-2, the count for Wendell to Williams. You have the base to give, technically, but still the first inning is still only 1 out. And no double play in order, at least right now. London Williams fouls it back to the screen. Long at bat here, a couple of early swings from the early batters. Petrovic with a error from Hannah Hunt, reached base all the way to third now. Advanced to second on a single. And Kuzera with the fielder's choice ended up on first. Here's a ground ball to third base. The throw over to first from Addie Martin, scooped up, but her foot was off the bag. Taylor Barrett can't get the out at first. Addie Martin will not get credit. And it's going to be a throwing error. That pulled Taylor Barrett off the bag, and still first and third with a runner across for Central Michigan, their first run of the game.
Yeah, and Barrett, you mentioned not having her foot on the bag. Also a little bit of a bobble there from her. Not the cleanest throw that she received, but Falcons going to talk things over. 1 out currently in this first inning.
I also think Addie Martin might have had a play at the plate. I believe Petrovic took off as soon as the ball was on the ground, but would have had to have been a pretty strong throw to get over there. And a tag needed. It was not a force. So still first and third, 1 out. Grace Koenig up to the plate, and Madison Wendell still trying to work out of the situation. First pitch to the third baseman, who shows bunt. The throw down to second. London Williams is being watched back. Now the run will come across, chasing London Williams back to first base. She'll be out, but Central Michigan willing to trade the out for the run. Jenna Kuzera will come across to score. London Williams out, trying to steal between first and second, and now no base runners, 2 outs, but a 2-0 lead for Central Michigan.
And Central Michigan on their 5th hitter of the inning already with 2 more runs than the first game at all. So far, a much different game.
That error by Hannah Hunt to lead off the game, kind of a tone setter. This one misses just outside on the chalk, aside from the black on the plate. 1-1 the count now. The last pitch before McKee's throwdown was a strike. Grace Koenig 1 for 2. This one misses the outside edge. It's going to be 2-1 count from Wendell to Koenig. Tori Briggs, Rachel Cairo, the two coming up for Central Michigan. Foul tip into the glove of McKee. I'll make it a 2-strike count for Wendell. So an early 2-0 lead for Central Michigan, top of the first inning. Game 2 of the doubleheader. The Falcons won the first 1-0 on a sac fly by Peyton Steffes in the 7th inning. This one lifted out in the air, deep to left field, over the head of Simcoe, and it's down. A double as Grace Koenig cruises into second. No runners on, so nobody scores, but the inning continues for Central Michigan with 2 outs.
Yeah, and great hit there by Koenig. She's got 2 home runs this season. Not enough legs on that one, but yet does hit the wall over the left fielder.
Her 6th double of the season, just a hit away from 100 career, I believe. And Tori Briggs will step into the box. The right fielder batting on the right-hand side of the batter's box. Still got a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Called strike for Wendell, who got it to the outside part of the plate from Briggs. Two hits in this first inning. Couple of errors as well for the Falcons. One by Addie Martin throwing, and one by Hannah Hunt fielding at second base. 2 runs, neither one of them earned for Wendell, who leads the Falcons in unearned runs. Tori Briggs with a 2-strike count. Wendell looks to the outside corner, but misses it, low and away. Sophomore Wendell has allowed more hits than innings pitched in 7 of her 9 appearances this season, as this one's fouled into the netting. 10 hits and 5 innings pitched versus Lipscomb on February 13th. That was the most hits she's allowed in a game this season in 5 innings. And as we mentioned, allows a lot of hits, but if you're letting them hit it to where your fielders are, and the fielders is not backing up Wendell in this first inning.
What's interesting, too, Wendell not foreign to this Central Michigan team, coming to BG this year, previously a freshman at Central Michigan, pitching 6 games there during her career.
I mentioned 4 2/3 innings pitched and a 4.5 ERA. This is a ground ball up the middle. It'll be a base hit into center field. Rounding third, coming home is Koenig. She is in there safe. The ball away from McKee as she tried for the tag. Looked like the tag got in time, but she didn't have the ball. It's going to be an RBI single for Tori Briggs, and that'll bring it to 3-0 Central Michigan.
Yeah, and Central Michigan kind of flipping the script from the previous game. Falcons going to talk it over after the early 3-0 lead from the Chippewas.
A little bit of commotion in the bullpen. Looks like Olivia Roth getting warm for the Falcons. Rachel Cairo up to bat with 2 outs and a 3-0 lead. And you wonder how much of this, if you're head coach Michelle Gardner, can you put on the back of your pitcher Madison Wendell. She has not pitched poorly. She's got some weak contact. That single, certainly one of the harder hit ones, but a double and a single back-to-back at-bats after a couple of errors and a fielder's choice before.
And Wendell coming into this one, 4.80 ERA, higher than both Langen and Campo of the Chippewas. Just as you mentioned, it's the fielding errors that you cannot allow right now if you're the Falcons.
Swing and a miss. A knee-high deal from Wendell to Rachel Cairo. Cairo, Laska, and Tolmie. Kira Tolmie, the addition to the lineup at catcher. Have not seen her play in the field yet. Central Michigan takes the field in the bottom of the first inning. Wendell with another deal and another strike. That one waist high. Going bottom of the zone to top of the zone, an 0-2 count to Rachel Cairo. 3 runs in this first inning for Central Michigan. Still got a runner on first base, but 2 outs. 3 hits, 2 walks allowed for Madison Wendell. This one popped up in the air behind third base. It'll land in foul territory just out of the reach of Hannah Simcoe rushing in. And it'll just be a long nothing as it still stay at 2 strikes. Falcon infield, Addie Martin at third base, Cam Kaufman at shortstop. Hannah Hunt at second base, Taylor Barrett at first base. Wendell in the circle and Ava McKee catching. Hannah Massaro in center field, Peyton Steffes in right field, and Hannah Simcoe in left. Wendell to her catcher, out in the other batter's box, but 2-strike count. It'll just go to 1 and 2 now.
And if you're Wendell, you're facing your 7th batter of the inning, 2-1 count. You're trying to get out of this inning because of the 2 outs.
Up high, 2-2, 2 straight balls for Wendell. Now in the first inning has thrown 30 pitches. Still doesn't have the final out yet. Wendell's a righty. This one slashed down the third base line again. Foul ball, but just barely. Another hard hit ball down the line for Central Michigan. They've got 2 hits in a row. Grace Koenig with the double, and Tori Briggs knocked her in with a single.
And Cairo, a junior on this Central Michigan team, spending the previous 2 seasons also at Central Michigan. Been there all 3 years so far.
This one slapped out of play again down the third base line. Late on Wendell, who doesn't necessarily bring a lot of velocity. Rachel Cairo hit .305 last season, 24 RBIs, and 19 runs scored. Okay strikeout to walk ratio, actually one of the worst on the team. Central Michigan doesn't strike out a lot, but walks pretty decent amount. 2-2 pitch from Wendell, again fouled off. But Cairo, a .755 OPS last season, and a pretty solid infielder as well. Only 5 errors at almost 200 plays made at shortstop for Central Michigan.
And she's doing a great job battling right now, trying to stay in the box.
Swing and a miss. Wendell ends the inning after 3 runs scored by Central Michigan. Top of the first, 3 runs for Central Michigan, their first runs of the day through the start of game number 2. And the Falcons will hit for the first time in the bottom of the first inning. You're listening to Falcon Softball here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
WBGU-FM is Northwest Ohio's community radio station. Tune in daily for local programming that includes The Morning Show, oldies, indie rock, children's music, folk, jazz, world music, and so much more. WBGU is the return to radio freedom. Give us a listen on 88.1 FM or online at bgfalconmedia.com. 88.1 FM WBGU, Northwest Ohio's community radio station.
For a BGSU Athletics talk radio show, tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m., where a panel of Falcon Media Sports Network members discuss the hottest BG sports topics, only on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Not a great first inning for the Falcons. They gave up 3 runs on 3 hits and 2 errors. All 3 runs were unearned for Madison Wendell, who ended the first inning on a strikeout. Didn't walk anybody in that first inning. And really, Dawson, you can't say that she pitched too poorly, just some bad infield play on the early goings, and it set up a pretty poor inning.
Absolutely, and quite surprising, honestly, if you're the Falcons, because looking in that first game, not a lot of errors, and especially not from the infield either. But Falcons, plenty of games still left, and now at bat.
1 ball, no strikes on Hannah Simcoe, the leadoff batter for the Falcons, and the freshman. Simcoe, Hutter, Barrett, the first 3, then Martin, Kaufman, McKee, Hannah Hunt, Massaro and Steffes. This one fisted down the third base line. Got a little bit in tight of the hands of the rookie. So 1-1 is the count to Simcoe. She was hitless in game 1, hitting .317 on the season now. 0 for 3 on her tries. The 1-1 pitch. She slashes over to third base. Good pickup by Cairo. The throw to first base kind of lofted and very late. Simcoe was able to beat it out. A nice play by Cairo just to snare it, but an infield hit for the freshman.
Yeah, and Simcoe making an impact immediately on this team as she comes in. The freshman, as you mentioned, she's played in 20 of these games, started 17, and she gets to first on that hit.
Katie Hutter only had one at-bat in the first game, and that's due to a couple of walks that she gained. Hutter lets one go on the outside. It's 1-0 the count. Simcoe on first base. Shows bunt again, but pulls it back. And it'll be a strike. Infield single for Hannah Simcoe gets the Falcons started. 3-run top of the first inning for Central Michigan. Another delivery and a foul back from Hutter. Katie Hutter, the leader on the Falcons in walks this season. 7 walks in the last 6 games played. That counts 4 games last week against Charleston Southern. Another pitch just misses the outside black, barely. And Campo's not too excited about the call. 2-2 the count to Hutter with a runner on first and no outs. The deal from Campo, lofted out to shortstop. Cairo makes the grab and sees Simcoe back to first base. 1 out, runner on first, and Taylor Barrett will come up for the Falcons.
Yeah, not a bad hit by Hutter, just a bit lofted up. Wind starting to pick up a little bit more than it was in the first game. The flag's actually waving a little bit. But regardless, it's now Barrett for the Falcons up to bat.
Taylor Barrett, number 9, .323 hitting this season, coming into today. She sees 1 go by for a strike. Had 1 hit on 3 at-bats. That 1 hit was a double that she hit down the third base line. 0-1 count on a first pitch strike. Addie Martin in the hole for the Falcons. Next one misses inside on 1-1 count. Hannah Simcoe not too active on first base, but actually leads the team in stolen bases. 11 and 12 attempts this season. There she goes, and a hit and run. Falcons loft one into right center field. It's Taylor Barrett that's got her second double of the day, and that'll get a run in as well. Simcoe comes around to score on a hit and run from first base, and Taylor Barrett with an RBI double to get the Falcons on the board.
Yeah, and Barron, great ball placement there, right in between right field and center, able to get the run in. Hits a little celly there after getting to second base.
1 out for Addie Martin with a runner in scoring position. Addie didn't do too hot in the first game, 0 for 3 with a big at-bat in the 6th inning and 2 strikeouts before that. She's got a chance to get a run in here with a single. 3-1 Central Michigan leads, and there's the pitch that got Addie a lot in the first game, that high fastball.
Yeah, and she wasn't budging it on this one. Good eye from Addie.
Another delivery up high again and a swing and a miss. She chased that one. Addie, as we mentioned in the first game, 39 strikeouts and 11 walks last season. 9 hit by pitches, which led the team. She hugs the plate just a bit. Swings on another one up at her waist, and it's a 1-2 count. This season's done better coming into the weekend. 8 strikeouts and 9 walks and 8 hit by pitches. .514 on base percentage. Coming into the last game played where she went over. This one popped up in the air, towering pop fly in the infield, and Williams makes the catch at around the pitcher's circle for the second out. So Cam Kaufman will need a hit to get the runner in. 2 outs. Taylor Barrett on second base. Some big hits today for her.
Here's shortstop number 12, Cameron Kaufman.
It was just the same with the senior day stuff was before the meet versus it's at the end of the meet.
Kaufman, the junior shortstop, swings at another high pitch. 0-1 count for her. Kaufman, her first 2 weeks of the season, 8 errors, and since she's only had 4, a pretty solid fielder most of the time, and has settled back into that. But at that start of the season, while she was great offensively, her defense suffered a bit. She sees a ball for a 1-1 count. Campo leaves next pitch outside. A 2-1 count for the Falcons, up to even between the batter and the pitcher. Koenig, Cairo, Petrovic, and Williams on the infield. Lotus, Kazera, and Briggs in the outfield, and Kira Tolme behind the dish for Central Michigan in Game 2. And another ball low, so a 3-1 count. And a good situation for Cam Kaufman to try and knock this run in. Ava McKee follows, and Hannah Hunt behind her. Kaufman slashes it out into right center field. That ball looks like it's going to get down, does so just short of the warning track. Kaufman's racing for third base. She's likely going to get in there. She is. An RBI triple for Cam Kaufman and the Falcons with 2 runs here in the first inning.
And Kaufman, that's her first triple of the season, and what a way to have your first triple, getting in a run. It's 3-2 Chippewa lead.
Not even through the first inning yet. Completely different look of the game than we had last game in the 1-0 win. Ava McKee will step up to the plate with a runner on third and 2 outs. There's a huddle on the pitcher's circle for Central Michigan. Cam Kaufman, her first triple of the season, her 5th extra base hit, 2 doubles and 2 home runs. A decent slugging percentage, chasing .500. That might have put her over the mark.
And now McKee up to bat, the sophomore from Pataskala, Ohio. 6 starts and 6 appearances for her, .364 batting average.
Actually hitting better than Ashley Chevalier, the other catcher for Bowling Green, is. With 2 outs, take strike 1.
And she's got 4 hits this season with 0 strikeouts.
Has a walk in 4 of 6 starts this season, also a hit by pitch. And as you mentioned, no strikeouts so far this year. 1-1 the count, 2 outs from Campo to McKee, the catcher for the Falcons. Grounds this one down the third baseline, goes right behind the heels of Cam Kaufman on the third baseline, and foul.
Yeah, Kaufman taking a little jump there, almost got hit by that one. But McKee stays in the box.
3 hits, 3 runs, and 2 errors for Central Michigan in the top of the first inning. The Falcons with 3 hits, 2 runs. No errors by Central Michigan in the bottom of the inning. Goes above the head of McKee. Not a tall task, not the tallest catcher in the world. Just 5 foot listed. A 2-2 count. Bet you that factors a lot into pitchers. Here's a strike 3, another high chase for Ava McKee, and Campo gets out of the inning, but not before she gives up 2. The Falcons with 2 runs on 3 hits, and we turn it over to the top of the second, and Central Michigan back up to bat. Falcon softball here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Christina Ricci with RAIN. Every 2 minutes, another American is sexually assaulted. If you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted, you are not alone. Help is just a call or click away through the National Sexual Assault Hotline. Please call 1-800-656-HOPE That's HOPE. Or visit rain.org. That's RAINN.org.
Brought to you by Rain and this station.
Lasco will step into the box for Central Michigan. They have the 8, 9, and 1 hitters coming up in the top of the second. Been a pretty hot start to the game offensively for both teams. 3 runs on 3 hits, 2 errors benefited, and 1 left on base for Central Michigan. The Falcons with 2 runs on 3 hits, no walks, no errors, and 1 runner left on base, and some pretty good hitting with 2 outs for Bowling Green. Madison Wendell back in the circle for the Falcons. Lasco shows bunt and lets it go by for first pitch ball.
In the start of this game so far, completely the opposite of what we saw in that first one. Falcons winning in that first one, if you missed it, 1-0.
This one slapped down the third base line again, foul from Lasco. And a 1-1 count now for her. She has a hit, or had a hit in each of the last 5 games played. A 5-game hit streak broken last game that she played against Bowling Green today. 0 for earlier on. Has a hit in all 5 games that she's started this season, as this one misses away from McKee. 2-1. The count to Lasco, the leadoff hitter, here in the top of the second. Kira told me to follow, and then top of the order, Angela Petrovich, the second baseman. The 2-1 count. This one lifted out in the air to left field. Hannah Simcoe camped out under it, and she'll put it in her back pocket for out number 1. Told me the catcher will step to the plate. Took 6 starts and 13 at-bats to get her first hit, as Chippewa walked 4 times in the first 6 games played, but first hit February 20th against Iowa State. This one slapped in the air to left field again. Simcoe's getting work in this second inning. She makes the second out on back-to-back fly balls right to her.
This is kind of what we mentioned in that first inning, is that Wendell gives up hits, but when your infielders and outfielders can clean it up, it makes it a nice ball game if you're the Falcons.
Yeah, that first inning, 2 base runners off of errors. The first one, Petrovich, who's up at bat now, benefited from a fielding error by Hannah Hunt at second base as Petrovich sees a strike go by. And then later on, a throwing error by Addie Martin to make it first and third. Continued the inning, and that's what ended up giving Wendell 3 runs and none of them earned. Another pitch that catches the corner, and an 0-2 count for Madison Wendell. Petrovich, Lotus, and Kuzera, but down to her last strike is Petrovich. Her first plate appearance. She slaps this one up to the mound, off of Wendell, over toward Addie Martin, and they make the play. A good bounce off of the right leg of Madison Wendell, right to Addie Martin, and a strong throw over to Taylor Barrett at first base. The Falcons with a 1-2-3 second inning off of Madison Wendell, and they'll try a hand at their bats in the bottom of the second. You're listening to Falcon Softball here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Looking for your daily dose of jazz? Tune in to Jazz Unlimited on WBGU 88.1 FM. Hosted by Mark Zaborni, Jazz Unlimited brings you a carefully curated variety of jazz music to brighten your mornings. Catch automated shows weekdays from 9 a.m. to noon and join Mark live every Wednesday for a truly special experience. Listen anytime, anywhere by streaming online at bgfalconmedia.com. Wake up with a Northwest Ohio favorite, The Morning Show with Clint Corp. Every weekday from 6 to 9 a.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM. Clint brings you local news, BGSU happenings, and community events that matter, all from a voice that's trusted and respected across the region. Start your day connected, informed, and in tune with your community. WBGU 88.1 FM, Northwest Ohio's community radio station.
Falcon softball with their home and MAC opening series. 3 games against Central Michigan, 2 today, 1 tomorrow. We've already played 1 today, a 1-0 win for Falcon softball. They have a 1-0 record, and they're trying for another one now. They trail 3-2 to Central Michigan in the bottom of the 2nd inning, and the first pitch to Hannah Hunt, she fouls back to the screen. Falcons had 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 runner left on base in the first. RBI triple for Cam Kaufman and an RBI double for Taylor Barrett. Got those 2 runs in. Hunt strokes this one down the first base line and out of play. And it's an 0-2 count for her, who's behind, and she has been a couple of times today. Started the season batting in those top 4 and then has been worked down maybe to see some better pitches. Left it up high above her waist.
Yeah, and Hunt leading the Falcons last year with a .366 batting average during the 2025 season. This year, going into this weekend, .238.
Foul back to the screen again. A big swing and just a piece of it. Yeah, a .238 average. Only 2 extra base hits of her 15. 1 home run, 1 double. Just about a .682 OPS this season. This one grounded over toward third base, gobbled up, and spit back out across the diamond for the first out of the inning. A G5 for Hannah Hunt. And Hannah Massaro and Peyton Steffes will follow her. Massaro, the sophomore center fielder. Steffes, the junior right fielder. They'll turn it back to the top. Massaro had 2 pretty well-hit balls in the first game, and then in the final inning, a pop-out to the infield, but she was on Langen pretty much the whole time. First pitch strike for her, swing and a miss on a fast up and away pitch. Campo, another righty for Central Michigan. Another one up high and another chase for Hannah Massaro. 3 hits allowed, 2 earned runs in the first inning. Madison Wendell with 3 hits allowed, 3 unearned runs in the first inning. Another high pitch, and Massaro lets this one go.
And Massaro going into this weekend, 8 hits, 8 strikeouts, .258 batting average.
Much better ratio for her, but there's a strikeout on another swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts for Brooklyn Campo. Now bring out Peyton Steffes, the last hitter in the lineup for the Falcons before it's back up to the top. Steffes had the sac fly to left field, ended the last game between Bowling Green and Central Michigan, brought Jillian Gardner home to score, pinch running for Ashley Chevalier after a walk. Takes a ball, does Steffes. Lefty for the Falcons. This one misses just away. Don't know exactly where that missed. Looked like it caught the black, but umpire says no. 2 outs for Bowling Green. No base runners in the bottom of the second. 1-2-3 for Madison Wendell against Central Michigan in the top of the second. 3-0 the count to Steffes from Campo. Flashes bunt, does Steffes. Lets the ball go through, and it's first strike. Steffes was 1 for 3 in the first game. That final sac fly does not count against her. An RBI single, or just an RBI, I should say, and a single the other hit. Takes another strike and brings it up to a full count. So Campo with a full count, trying to make it a 1-2-3 inning, back-to-back that we'd see here. 2 outs, the delivery just outside, and Steffes will take her base.
Yeah, and so far in this inning for both teams, pretty slow. Steffes ends up getting on first base. It'll bring up the next hitter for Bowling Green.
Yeah, Hannah Simcoe, the rookie, and the leadoff hitter for the Falcons. Singled in the first, and with Taylor Barrett up at bat, she took off for second base, and Barrett laced a double into right center field, and Simcoe came all the way around to score. She'll steal another bag here that bounces just nearly beyond Petrovic, the second baseman. Kind of an odd swing from Hannah Simcoe as well, but a stolen base, for Peyton Steffes.
Yeah, and Steffes almost thought about taking off to third, too. Looked over and saw the ball wasn't too far behind her, decided to stay, but an odd bounce around Petrovic, and we'll see what happens at bat.
0-1. This one sliced. Diving play and a good catch by Cairo to end the inning. That one looked like it was going for the left field side and would have at least got Steffes over to third base, but it ends the inning on a nice diving play. Simcoe out will start the bottom of the third with Hutter, Bay, and Martin, the top of the Falcon order, but Central Michigan coming up to the plate. You're listening to Falcon Softball here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Hey there, BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Ever heard of Falcon Media Sports Network's broadcast on Falcon Radio or WBGU 88.1 FM but don't know where to listen? Well, set down the radio, pick up your phone, and go to bgfalconmedia.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to stream Falcon Radio and WBGU 88.1 FM for all broadcasts.
2, 3, and 4 to the plate for Central Michigan. Emma Lotus, Jenna Kuzera, and London Williams, the middle of the order, the most dangerous hitters for Central Michigan. They had 3 runs in the first inning. The Falcons followed that up with 2, and we were scoreless in the 2 half innings since. Top of the third, Wendell back in the circle, and first pitch misses outside to Emma Lotus. Lotus singled in the first inning following an error and was caught going to second base on a fielder's choice. This one, running up at the ball, slaps it out of play. Kuzera and Williams to follow. No hits for the top 2 in the order for Central Michigan in game 1. 0 for 3, both of them. Petrovic is hitless today. Lotus had a hit in the first inning. Sees another one go away. Two-one pitch from Wendell, just fouled off by Lotus. That'll be another strike. But your top 2 in the order and 9 at-bats have combined for 1 hit. Not necessarily what you'd like to see if you're head coach for Central Michigan, McCall Salmon. 2-2 the count, no outs, top of the third inning. Slapped down the third base line just wide of Addie Martin, but foul. So Lotus will stay alive. Kuzera behind her. Williams to follow that. Wendell with a 1-2-3 second inning. 2 flyouts to Simcoe in left field, and then a ground ball off of her leg to Addie Martin, and Martin finished up the play. The 2-2 pitch from Wendell. Outside, tipped foul again. Just below the mid of McKee and back to the backstop.
And Lotus, so far, a good fight at bat, trying to put something out there the last couple fouls.
Lotus hitting .339 on the season, 21 hits and 62 at-bats. 2-2 pitch. This one tapped forward toward the pitcher. Wendell flips over toward first base. A nice play by the pitcher, and the PFP gets an out for the Falcons.
Yeah, Lotus finally able to put something out there. To her dismay, right in front of the pitcher, Falcons end up getting the out, the first out of this third inning.
Very nice play to get quickly off the circle and to step forward and make a throw to Barrington first place. So 1 out for Kuzera. Ball flies outside. So again, a first pitch ball. Been a lot of those today for Wendell, and she's, since that first inning, been able to work out of holes that she's put herself in. Allowed 3 hits in the first inning, but 2 errors for her extended the inning. And here's a single from Kuzera past Hannah Hunt between first and second baseman. A clean hit for the 3-hitter and bringing up the dangerous London Williams with 1 out and a runner on first.
And Hunt putting her body on the line, diving for that ball just a little outside of her to the right on the field. Batter on first base.
Williams reached on an error. That was a ground ball to Addie Martin. She threw it away. This one fouled off out of play toward the bleachers down the first base line. So only 4 hits allowed for Madison Wendell, 3 of them in the first inning, 1 of them here in the third. No earned runs yet, and as a strikeout and a walk. She's done a good job of controlling her counts. The 0-1 pitch from the sophomore Wendell. This ball is lifted up in the air toward Peyton Steffes in right field. She makes a routine grab, and it's 2 outs after that fly ball.
In a much different pace here than what we saw in that first inning, mainly because of those errors that allowed Central Michigan to get those 3 runs. Falcons doing a lot better job staying composed, currently with 2 outs in this third inning.
Grace Koenig doubled and scored in the first inning. Very nice double she had. She sees a strike go by from Wendell. She has a runner on first and 2 outs, so a job to do for her. One of 3 Chippewas that scored in the first. Petrovic, Kuzera, and Koenig, the 1-3-5 hitters. Koenig sees the 0-1 outside. McKee's throw down to second on a stolen base by Kuzera, and she's in safely. Kuzera with her 4th stolen base of the season is yet to get caught. Ava McKee's throw just a bit late, but a ball that also was a tough one to get a throw off.
Yeah, Kaufman having to reach behind her to try and get the out. So close, but not able to get it.
Tried the outside black and got it, did Wendell. 1-2 the count. And even the pitch, I believe, low of McKee. She had to kind of pick it off the dirt a little bit and get a throw off. A tough pitch to get one down to second base. So runner on second, 2 outs. Koenig lifts one into center field. Massaro dives for it, gets under the glove of Hannah Massaro. Peyton Steffes backs it up. The run comes in. Into second comes Grace Koenig. And it's an RBI for her. Kuzera comes around to score 4-2. Central Michigan leads.
Yeah, Hannah Massaro just barely not able to get under that one as the ball goes under her glove. Peyton Steffes helping her out, getting the ball in. But regardless, it's a double for the Chippewas.
A 2-out RBI double for Grace Koenig. Tori Briggs up at the plate now. She had an RBI single to knock in Koenig. She lifts this one out to Hannah Massaro in center field, who will put the ball away. But Central Michigan, with a runner on first, scores a run. They lead 4-2 over the Falcons, with Bowling Green coming up to bat in the bottom of the third. You're listening to Falcon Softball here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Soon after humans began to walk upright, they invented folk music, and folk music was the only music, and it was good. Then came civilization, and rival musical genres arose: Gregorian chant, classical music, jazz, rock and roll. And there was cacophony, but folk music survived, and when the economy and technology collapse and civilization devolves into barbarism, these upstart genres will fall away, and folk music will rise again to its natural dominance. You can prepare yourself now for that inevitable future by tuning in to the Folk Music Show Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m. on WBGU 88.1.
Looking for a BGSU Athletics talk radio show? Tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m., where a panel of Falcon Media Sports Network members discuss the hottest BG sports topics, only on WBGU 88.1 FM.
For all BGSU sports news and updates, go to bgfalconmedia.com or BG_FMSN on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Falcon softball trailing 4-2 to Central Michigan. We're in the bottom of the third inning, and Katie Hutter will lead things off for the Falcons. BG scoreless last inning, had a walk with 2 outs by Peyton Steffes, and then a nice try to hit by Hannah Simcoe and a great defensive play by Cairo to take away an opportunity. Steffes also had a stolen base, so she was on second base, and a single might have been able to bring her around, although it was to left field. 2-0 the count from Campo to Hutter. Katie Hutter does have a good eye. This pitch finds its way low at the knees of Hutter, and it's a 3-0 count. Freebie coming up from Campo, and missed. So a 4-pitch walk from Campo to start the inning. Runner on first and Katie Hutter. Taylor Barrett up. She had a RBI double in the first inning that brought Simcoe home from first base. Not a strike thrown in this third inning yet for Campo. Flashes bunt does Barrett. First pitch strike to Barron, an 0-1 count from Capo. Flashes bunt again. That one in for a strike. Actually, it's 1-1. First pitch was a ball. The catcher had to see Katie Hutter back to first base. Barron has only 2 hitless games in her last 2 weeks, 10 games played during that span. Went from hitting .294 at the start to .323, which she came into today with, and already has a hit today, trying to add on to that. She's got a 2-1 count from Campo. Hutter on first base, no outs, and 4-pitch walk for Katie Hutter. Barrett sees it go through. Check swing, no go. So it's a 3-1 count, and you're not going to get a freebie from Campo, but you might get a pretty good pitch. Chance to do some damage.
Barron also the having the best series on this team in the previous series, hitting a .545 in the Charleston Southern Series.
Takes another strike there, so it's up to a full count. That's just the second full count that Brooke Campo has reached today in the circle for Central Michigan. No outs, runner on first, double play in order for Central Michigan. Barrett lets it fly and sees the strike 3. Addie Martin will come to the plate with a runner on first. Taylor Barrett strikes out looking. Just her 3rd strikeout of the season.
Yeah, batting third baseman Addie Martin.
And Addie Martin, kind of the powerhouse of this lineup, trying to get things going after she struggled today.
Yeah, not had a good day. 2 strikeouts in the first game. A couple of pop-ups as well. One of them to first base in this game, and Michelle Gardner wants to talk things over with her third baseman. Katie Hutter standing at first base. 0-1 count with 1 out here in the bottom of the third inning. Central Michigan with 3 in the first, 1 in the third. Bowling Green had 2 in the first off of a Hannah Simcoe single, a Taylor Barrett double, and a Cam Kaufman triple. The Falcons got 2 around Simcoe and Barrett. The only runs that they've scored today. They've had a base runner every inning, though, and have this inning as well, Katie Hutter, after a walk. Gardner still talking to Martin, giving her a breather, and now it's broken up by the home plate umpire. Martin will step back into the right side of the batter's box. Campo lines and deals in 0-1. Another swing and another miss for Addie Martin. So down behind the count again is Addie Martin. Batting 4th today for the Falcons. Another one, another swing and a miss. 3 strikeouts today for Addie Martin, back-to-back for Brooklyn Campo. One looking, one swinging, Now Cam Kaufman will come up with a runner on first and 2 outs.
Now batting here is shortstop number 12, Cameron Kaufman.
Ground ball to second base. Picked up by Petrovic, tossed over to first base, and that'll end the inning. The Falcons get a leadoff runner on, but then 3 straight outs, 2 strikeouts, and a soft ground ball. Central Michigan will hit in the top of the 4th in just a minute. You're listening to Falcon Softball here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
On October 4th, 2024, BGSU volleyball opposite hitter Lauren Hovey recorded her 115th career service ace in BG's comeback reverse sweep of Western Michigan, passing Paige Penrod for the most in program history during the rally scoring era. Falcon Media Sports Network's Chaz McNeil had the call of the historic moment on WBGU 88.1 FM.
And that will make history. Lauren Hovey's 115th ace in the rally scoring era is in the history books as the Stroh Center applauds.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Back here at Missouri Field, the Falcons in Game 2 of their doubleheader today. They won Game 1, 1-0, and now trail by 2 runs in the top of the 4th inning. Madison Wendell has 1 earned of the 4 runs scored for Central Michigan. 3 of those 4 scored in the first, 1 in the last inning, and that was the only earned run that she's given up. A couple of errors in that first resulted in unearned runs. And up to the plate steps Rachel Cairo, the shortstop, struck out in the first, gets an at-bat now in the 4th. Wendell to the inside part of the plate, ground ball to shortstop. Cam Kaufman, a low throw, and it's picked up by Taylor Barrett to save her shortstop. 1 out on 1 pitch to Cairo. That's a good start for Madison Wendell. We're seeing a lot of contact, but most of it soft.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we've kind of seen this entire game. It was just in that first inning that we saw some errors that led to those initial runs. Falcons have cleaned it up quite a lot so far in this game.
Missed the outside black, did Madison Wendell. Has just 2 relief appearances this season, and she's got quite a bunch of starts. Those 2 relief appearances, 5 innings pitched, and 6 earned runs. Not great. She's much better starting than she is coming out of the bullpen. Kenzie Kraftsick earlier today went up to 21 straight innings pitched without an earned run. She had 7 innings, no earned runs today against Central Michigan. 2-0 count from Wendell. She delivers it to the inside part, and it's going to bloop in front of Hannah Simcoe in left field. Another soft hit ball just over the shortstop, just short of the left fielder, and a single for Sierra Laska with 1 out.
And a well-placed ball from Laska right in between shortstop and left field. Gets her onto first.
Laska, one of the relief pitching options, one of the 2 for Central Michigan. 2.19 ERA in 12 appearances, no starts, 22 innings pitched, so about an inning and a half per appearance and only 7 earned runs. She's been impressive relief-wise, but hasn't seen her in the circle today. This one lifted in the air just behind third base. Cam Kaufman tracking it. She'll make the catch on the third baseline just in the grass. 2 outs for the Falcons. Madison Wendell with a runner on first and has the leadoff hitter Angela Petrovic up.
And great communication by the Falcons. Simcoe, Kaufman, and Martin all running after that one. Kaufman calling it out. I got it. Gets the out.
This one grounded down the third base line. Addie Martin makes a nice play, throws the ball past Taylor Barrett. It's in the right field. Steffes has to grab it. The run coming home. No throw to McKee. The throw goes to second base and holds Angela Petrovic there. That'll bring the run in. Sierra Laska was running on the contact. It was a nice play to stop the ball by Addie Martin and then threw the ball away over toward first base.
And that's been the Falcons' main problem so far, is those errors that are generating runs. If it weren't for some of these errors, not a lot of runs would have been generated by the Chippewas. Regardless, Chippewas up 5-2, top of the fourth.
3 errors is the most that the Falcons have committed in a game since February 13th against Lipscomb. That was a 4-error game. Their next highest was a 3-error game against Towson the game before, and besides that, the Falcons have been pretty clean. Ground ball back up to the pitcher. Wendell stops it. Eddie Martin with a big, strong throw over to first base to get the out. Emma Lotus is retired, but not before the Chippewas get a run across. They lead 5-2 over the Falcons, back-to-back innings with a run given up as Madison Wendell, one of them earned. You're listening to Falcon Softball here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
In Bowling Green football's 41-17 season opening victory over Fordham on August 29th, junior Justin Pace set a program record with a 100-yard kickoff return touchdown on the first play of the game. Falcon Media Sports Network's Reese Patricus had the call on Falcon Radio.
Go back up and field it on the goal line. Trying to take it to the right, got some blocks, got a hole. Peg was down the far sideline, and he's got space in front of him. 10, 5, touchdown BG brings back the opening kickoff. What a way to start the season.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
The catcher, McKee, for the Falcons will lead off the bottom of the fourth inning. A run given up in each of the last 2 innings for Madison Wendell. It's a 5-2 Central Michigan lead, but still only one of them earned. Addie Martin with a throwaway of the ball with 2 outs at the top of the fourth inning just a minute ago. Allowed a run to come across. First pitch, McKee is swinging a miss on it. And 0-1 count to her. So 5 runs given up, only one of them earned for Madison Wendell, who leads the Falcons in unearned runs. She's had some bad luck with fielding decisions this season. High pop fly to McKee, from McKee, behind second base, and the put-away is for Angela Petrovich. So the Falcons have 1 retired here in the fourth inning. Hannah Hunt and Hannah Massaro coming up next for the Orange and Brown. Hannah Hunt grounded out to third base in her second at bat, 4 pitches. That one, she struggled a bit lately, and today as well, Hannah Hunt has, and sees a strike on the inside black. 2 best hitters for the Falcons last season, Hannah Hunt and Addie Martin, both have struggled quite a bit today. Addie Martin, mainly batting in the 4th spot, has had some big at-bats. Not been able to capitalize on him as a strikeout in this game and 2 strikeouts in the first game of the doubleheader. Hunt with an 0-2 count. Campo deals up high. Hunt led the 2025 team. Led the 2025 team in batting average, hits, doubles, on-base percentage. Was second in runs, home runs, RBIs, total bases, and slugging percentage, all behind Addie Martin. So that'll tell you the top 2 hitters for the Falcons. She has a 2-2 count right now with 1 out, no runners on. Sees it again up high. There's a ground ball on the third base line, and it's called foul by the umpires, just out of the reach of Grace Koenig. So 3-2 the count full for Hannah Hunt with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th inning. Bowling Green hasn't scored since the 1st. Sees this one up just in on her elbow and up above her waist. So she'll take first base. After falling down 0-2 in the count, she walks, and Hannah Massaro comes up for the Falcons.
And great patience and fight from her. Down 0-2, ends up getting the walk. Great patience.
Massaro sees one outside. The back pick to first base, late to get Hannah Hunt. She was only like a step off the bag. And that back pick from Kira Tolme, catcher for this game. Massaro, the sophomore for the Falcons. Pitch just inside off the plate for a ball. 2-0 the count. And gathering on the pitcher circle for Central Michigan. Brooke Campo, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 4 strikeouts, 3 walks. Argument to be made, Wendell has outpitched her today. And yet 3 more runs for the Falcons in those 3 errors on the scoreboard, the culprit. A 2-0 count, though, for Hannah Massaro, trying to do some damage with a runner on first. She checks her swing, but goes around on a high fastball. BG struggled with that. A couple of players have today. Struggled with those high pitches, and especially laying off of them. Next pitch called a ball, 3-1. The count, another hitter's count for Hannah Massaro, her second of this at-bat. Runner on first base, that's Hannah Hunt following an 0-2 walk. This one fouled away by Massaro. Caught her inside on the hands, and she was way ahead of it. Campo has a start against BG before today in her career. Pretty solid one as well, as she strikes out Massaro after that foul ball. Strikeout swinging for Massaro, her second of the game. But Campo had 1 start for his BG last year, 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 9 strikeouts, only 4 walks, and 124 pitches. That was the most she threw last season, was against Bowling Green, and that only game started, that in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. First pitch to Peyton Steffes, catches the outside black for strike 1.
And Steffes trying to get something going here. Bottom of the 4th for the Falcons. Not a run earned since that first inning.
Another strike called against Steffes. Still a runner on first, but now 2 outs. So a big hit needed for Steffes to try and get a run across. The next batter up, Hannah Simcoe in the top of the Falcon order. This pitch just outside. 1-2. The count against Steffes. She walked, stole a base in the second inning, but was left stranded. Hannah Simcoe with a line drive nicely caught by Cairo at shortstop. This one lofted over the head of the shortstop Cairo, and it'll bloop in for a single. Peyton Steffes will reach for the second time today, once on a walk, now on a single, first and second with 2 out for Simcoe coming to the plate.
And great ball placement from Steffes right in between the third baseman and the left fielder. Drops right in between, gets Falcons on first and second.
So Simcoe, the rookie, with some pretty big at-bats today. She was 0 for 3 yesterday, has a single and a good try at a second in the second inning. She's got 2 outs. Takes steps toward the ball, sees a strike go by. Center fielder shifted almost behind where the shortstop would normally be. You're definitely seeing a shift to the left side of the infield for a left-handed batter, which is rare to see. Definitely not a pull hitter, Simcoe is. This next pitch outside, 1-1. The count to Simcoe. Hutter on deck for the Falcons, then Barrett behind her, but 2 outs. So a hit or a walk needed to continue the inning. BG trails 3 to Central Michigan. This ball sliced way out of play.
and Simcoe, the freshman from Canton, Michigan. Only a freshman, yet doing a lot of good things for this Falcon team.
1-2 pitch from Campo again. Spoiled foul. So Campo is battling on some today. She has 2 full counts in this 4th inning. She's got a 1-2 count right now to Simcoe in 5 pitches. Going to see a 6th right here. Falcons have worked her pitch count quite a bit the last couple of innings. But a lot of pitch count both ways for both Campo and Wendell. Wendell with 70 pitches, Campo with a 75 and counting. Going to switch the ball out. And now we get the green light to, get more balls in.
Yeah, Campo not liking the feel of that one. Switched it out. They're exchanging a couple more.
A couple of foul balls in a row. A lot to be utilized by the home plate umpire. Now we get the green light to throw a pitch. First and second, 2 outs, 1-2 count. Campo working against the leadoff hitter for the Falcons, Hannah Simcoe. Simcoe slices it over the head of the third baseman, and again, foul. That one stayed in play. See the left fielder, Kuzera, is just very much leaning toward that third base line, as 3 straight foul balls have gone that direction.
And Koenig, the third baseman, almost got a piece of that one, just barely goes above her head.
So 1-2 count. This one lifted in the air to the left of Kuzera, who's able to make the catch. Bounced off her glove initially and fell right back in. She had to range way to her left as she was hugging the third base line, but makes the final out of the inning. Simcoe can't get the runs across. Bowling Green strands 2 and still trails 5-2 to Central Michigan here going into the top of the 5th. You're listening to Falcon Softball here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
On September 5th, 2025, BGSU men's soccer forward Trace Terry found the back of the net with a spectacular goal within the first 5 minutes of the match to defeat Michigan State 1-0, marking the 2nd straight season the Falcons defeated the Spartans. Falcon Media Sports Network's Lucas Kleinmeyer had the call of the goal on the WBGU PBS YouTube channel live stream.
Suarez will look along for Terry. He's going to find Terry. He's going to take it on the bounce. A left-footed shot is in! Oh, what a strike from Trace Terry! 1-0 Bowling Green!
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
A run in each of the last 2 innings for Central Michigan, none in 3 innings for the Falcons, and the Chippewas lead 5-2 over Bowling Green. Top of the 5th inning, and leading off for Central Michigan is Jenna Kuzera, who made a play in the outfield to end the last inning. Now she grabs a bat, steps up, and sees a ball go past her. She reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning, scored a run, and then in the 3rd inning, her other at-bat, she singled and scored a run. 2 of the 5 runs scored just her. She trickles one down the first base line and foul to Taylor Barrett. A 1-1 count for Kuzera, who reached twice, and following the last game where she reached once, 1 for 3 during that game was Kuzera. Her single in the 6th innings. She was stranded there. And one of only a couple of hits, 3 of them for Central Michigan last game against Kraftsick. Another ball called against Madison Wendell. She's at 70 pitches and counting this inning. She's thrown 3 so far. This her 4th at a 2-1 count. Lifted high in the air to center field. Massaro back near the fence. She makes the catch just on the warning track. And that's the first out of the inning for Bowling Green. Kuzera retired. London Williams and Grace Koenig will follow.
And Kuzera, she's got 3 home runs this season, just not enough legs on that one. Falcons able to take it in.
Certainly gave it a ride. Hannah Massaro with some dirt on her cleats. She was standing on the warning track making that catch. First pitch, off speed for strike one to London Williams, who was given Kraftsick all she could handle last game in her 3 at-bats. This game reached on an error on a soft ground ball to third base and then flew out to the right fielder, Peyton Steffes. She's gone that way a couple of times today. Next pitch up high from Wendell to Williams, so a 1-1 count. 1-1 pitch from Wendell is up, flied out of play by Williams again. Madison Wendell doesn't allow a lot of power, allows a lot of hits, a .316 batting average against for Wendell against her opponents this season. 14 doubles and 2 home runs. 2 more doubles allowed than Mackenzie Kraftsick, 5 less home runs than Mackenzie Kraftsick, and 4 less appearances. Check swing, didn't go around. London Williams didn't. And it's going to be called a ball and a 2-2 count. Wendell 6 hits allowed today. Got that early out on a deep fly ball to center field. This one hit hard down the third base line. It's going to be foul again. She's fouled off a lot of pitches today. London Williams has. Designated hitter last season, mostly for Central Michigan. First baseman mostly this season. Hit .319, over 1,000 OPS, 8 doubles, 10 home runs, 33 RBIs, and 27 runs. She lines this one out into right center field. Massaro trying to get there, but won't in time. Bounces on the warning track. Getting into second with a stand-up double is London Williams. That'll be her first hit of this second game and give Central Michigan a runner in scoring position for Grace Koenig.
And coming into this weekend, Williams with 4 doubles before gets her 5th one there. Almost clears the fence, hits the fence. Double from Williams.
Her first hit of the day, actually, for Williams. 9 of her hits this season, extra base knocks. 1 out, her on second base. And Grace Koenig up. She slices one foul. Koenig does. She had a double in the first and the third inning. The double in the third was an RBI double. The double in the first was not, but she did score a run on that. Got 2 hits, an RBI, and a run. She's had a pretty good day, maybe the best offensively of any Chippewa. The 0-1 pitch to Wendell off speed, and just late was Koenig. Stood on it just a bit too long. She's got 2 strikes, a runner on second and 1 out, a chance to add to the lead for Central Michigan. They've scored back-to-back innings. 1 run in the third, 1 run in the fourth, a run in the third, the only one earned of the game. This a line drive to Cam Kaufman. She's not able to make the catch in the air. The throw over to first base, and it was late to Barrett. So first and second with 1 out. Cam Kaufman had a try at a line drive catch and dropped it.
Yeah, pretty much hit her in the leg there. Might have stung a little bit. Not able to get the out at first. Runners on first and second for the Chippewas.
London Williams did kind of step in front of her as the ball was coming, so maybe a distraction a little bit, but still a catch you expect him to make. Caught the black on the outside. Tori Briggs steps up to the plate and has a 0-1 count to start. She singled in the first and flew out in the third. Also an RBI single for her on a 2-2 count in the first. That brought Koenig around to score after her double. 0-1 pitch from Wendell, slapped foul. Wendell still working pretty hard and still not being helped really by her fielders. I believe that's going to be 4 errors when they give an error to Cam Kaufman.
And those have been the main issues as we've talked about in this game. If it aren't for those errors, Chippewas, not with many runs whatsoever, much more of a manageable game for the Falcons.
0-2 pitch from Madison Wendell is spoiled again by Tori Briggs. She's put together a couple of good at-bats today as a whole. Last game, first pitch, she did fly out to center field, but the first game she had a couple of deep at-bats. Runner at second is London Williams. Runner at first is Grace Koenig. Back-to-back bases, one on an error, one on a hit. This one popped up behind first base in foul territory. Taylor Barrett makes the catch. London Williams taking steps off second like she was going to tag up, but didn't. And it's 2 outs for the Falcons and a big out there. So still first and second, but now 2 outs and a force at first, second, and third base with a runner on first and second. Brings up Rachel Cairo. Cairo struck out and grounded out to Cam Kaufman. Her last 2 at-bats. She slices this one into left field. Simcoe under it, and she'll make the catch. Bowling Green does not allow a run, although there was 2 on with only 1 out, and Wendell has done a good job of getting out of trouble today. 5-2, Central Michigan leads Bowling Green heading into the bottom of the 5th. You're listening to Falcon Softball here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
On November 1st, 2024, BGSU men's soccer defeated nationally ranked Western Michigan for the first time in a decade. Falcon Media Sports Network's Lucas Kleinmeyer was on the call on the WBGU PBS YouTube channel.
History has been made here at Cochran Stadium for the first time in 37 regular season matches for the Western Michigan Broncos, and for the first time in a decade, the Bowling Green Falcons take down the Western Michigan Broncos by a final score of 3-0 here at Cochran Stadium. Wow!
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Falcons left 2 stranded in the 4th inning, 1 on a walk, 1 on a single, and with a runner on first and second and 2 outs, couldn't bring the runs home. They trail by 3 to Central Michigan with that bats in the bottom of the 5th, so they have 3 more opportunities to get some runs in, looking for their first MAC sweep of the day of a doubleheader. They won the first game 1-0 on a sac fly by Peyton Steffes out to left field that brought Jillian Gardner home. His first pitch to Katie Hutter catches the outside corner. But that's a big win for the Falcons. Central Michigan's a team that finished 3rd in the MAC last season. Disappointing in the MAC tournament, but a very good team that brought back almost everybody. There's an 0-2 count to Katie Hutter. And besides Carly Sleeman, the sophomore transferred to Kentucky, their best hitter, they brought back everybody. Mackenzie Langen is their ace, who you beat today. And a swing and a miss. 3-pitch strikeout for Katie Hutter, swinging at 1 in the dirt.
And Hutter, 14 hits, 15 walks, just a little too patient there, gets out.
Her 11th strikeout of the season, but not too bad when you put into perspective the 15 walks that she had coming into this weekend. Added 2 in the first game, 1 here in the second game. Taylor Barrett looking to throw it down the first base line, but she hit it foul. Doubled in the first inning to bring Hannah Simcoe home on a hit and run. Struck out in the 3rd inning with a runner on first, did Taylor Barrett. That's just her 3rd strikeout of the season. 0-1 pitch. She grounds the ball at the shortstop. Cairo throws over to first place and makes the play.
And routine play from the Chippewas. Able to get it done. 2 outs in this inning.
Rachel Cairo been solid at shortstop, has made a couple of very nice plays. Highlight reel ones, and a pretty quick inning on tap for the Falcons. Addie Martin with a swing, and she fouls it over the head of the catcher, Tolme. 2 outs for Addie. Struggled today. Again, 2 strikeouts in the first game, 1 here in the second game, and a soft pop fly to the first baseman. 368 hitter on the season, 6 doubles, 7 home runs, about a 1,300 OPS. And she's just not done very well today. These pitchers for Central Michigan have gave her what for. There's another strike and another count that she's behind in. Kaufman and McKee following. 0-2 count with 2 outs, and time is called by the pitcher, Brooke Campo. Gave up 2 earned runs in the first inning and hasn't allowed any since. Martin stays on this one, fouls it down.
Yeah, Martin comes into the weekend leading the team in just about every major power category, from home runs to RBIs, doubles, on-base percentage. A lot of stats that she leads in. Struggling so far this weekend, trying to get something going in this inning.
She has not reached base in this game. Didn't reach base the first game either. She had a couple of bats with runners on and couldn't connect with any. This one lifted high in the air to left field, playable for the left fielder Kulzera, and she's able to make the play. So Martin flies out to left field, a 1-2-3 inning for Brooke Campo, and Central Michigan heads into the 6th inning with a 5-2 lead. This is Falcon Softball here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
You are listening to Falcon Media Sports Network coverage on WBGU 88.1 FM in Bowling Green, Ohio.
Ever heard of Falcon Media Sports Network's broadcasts on Falcon Radio or WBGU 88.1 FM but don't know where to listen? Well, set down the radio, pick up your phone, and go to bgfalconmedia.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to stream Falcon Radio and WBGU 88.1 FM for all broadcasts.
聆听世界音乐。
Did you hear that, kids? You too can join the International Humanist Conspiracy. All you have to do is listen to the World Music Show.
দেশের নয় শুনুন পৃথিবীর গান।
That's right, music from everywhere but here, Sundays starting at 6 p.m. on WBGU 88.1.
Sarah Laska up to the plate for Central Michigan. She leads things off. Kira Tolme to follow her, and then the top of the order for Central Michigan. Five to 2, Central Michigan leads. 3 runs in the first inning, 1 in the third and 1 in the fourth. That gets us up to 5. The Falcons scored 2 in the first inning and looked pretty good offensively, and has kind of stalled out since. Here's a line drive over toward Hannah Hunt. Takes one hop toward her, and she makes the play. A nice one for Hannah Hunt on a hard-hit ground ball. Just a one-hopper there to second base. Tough play. And happy to Barrett the connection.
And happy to see Hunt able to get that one in. Had an error previously in this one that she kind of bobbled. Able to get the routine play there done. First out of the inning for the Falcons.
Kira Tolme now up. Takes the pitch. Out for a ball. Has swung on the first pitch each of her last 2 at-bats. One of them she flew out to left field. The other one she popped out to the shortstop. And you see the Falcon left side of the infield really shifting over. Huge gap in the middle of the field, and she strikes right up it. Right off second base bag, and a hit for, actually that's not Kira Tolme, that's Ashley Bila, the utility player and the sophomore, who gets a pinch hit. So runner on and 1 out for Central Michigan. The top of the order, Angela Petrovich coming up. Out goes Kira Tolme, and in comes Ashley Bila. We'll see who continues to catch. Here's a slap hit towards second base. Cam Kaufman with the give and go to the second baseman Hunt. They get the play at second. They don't get the one at first. So Bila out trying for second. Petrovich will stay at first base, but 2 outs for the Falcons with a runner on the opening bag.
And this is exactly what you like to see if you're a Falcon fan in this inning so far. Giving up hits, but the infield able to contain the runs. Just a runner on first right now with 2 outs.
Petrovich has been on 3 times, twice on an error, once on a fielder's choice. flashing bunt. Now a steal try from Petrovic. She's caught in between a pickle for Petrovic. Running her down is Taylor Barron. Out of the baseline is Petrovic. And a base running gaff for the leadoff hitter takes Central Michigan out of the inning. They'll start the top of the 7th with the 2, 3, and 4 hitters, so not the end of the world, but that ends things in the 6th for Central Michigan. The Falcons hit in the bottom of the 6th with only 2 more opportunities to get at least 3 on the board. You're listening to Falcon Softball here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Catch all the action of BGSU athletics right here on Northwest Ohio's community radio station, WBGU FM. Student play-by-play announcers broadcast all the sports you want to hear, including football, basketball, hockey, volleyball, and more. Don't miss a single game with coverage of BGSU athletics from the Falcon Media Sports Network on WBGU FM and streaming worldwide on bgfalconmedia.com.
Catch all the action at
Looking for a BGSU Athletics talk radio show? Tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m., where a panel of Falcon Media Sports Network members discuss the hottest BG sports topics. Only on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Cam Kaufman, Ava McKee, and Hannah Hunt, the 3 for the Falcons in the bottom of the 6th inning. 2 more at-bat opportunities for the Falcons to get 3 runs across. They trail 5-2 to Central Michigan. Game 2 of this MAC opening doubleheader and Meserve Field opening doubleheader as well here at home for BG Softball. For all BGSU sports news and updates, go to bgfalconmedia.com and BG_FMSN on Twitter X. Everything BG Softball there as well. 0-1 pitch, line down the third base line, but way foul. Cam Kaufman, the barrelhead, way ahead of the softball. And an 0-2 count to the senior shortstop.
And Kaufman tied with Martin coming into this weekend, leading the team with 21 runs scored. She's trying to get something started offensively for the Falcons, where they haven't seen any runs since that first inning.
0-2 pitch is way up high. Kaufman tripled in the first inning. That's the closest she's come to scoring today. That was a 1-2 count from Brooke Campo. And it's rolled up to the dish. 2-2. The count to Kaufman. McKee and Hunt following. Hunt, the only of those 2 to reach base. She walked in the 4th inning. The other 3 at-bats for those 2 are outs. There's a ground ball to the second baseman, Petrovic, and she flubs it. Something about second base today.
Yeah.
A lot of ease going that direction. On base is Cam Kaufman on the air. And it looks like Ashley Chevalier is going to be pinch hitting for Ava McKee.
Yeah, and errors proving so crucial in this game so far, causing problems for both teams with these runs.
Chevalier walked in the 7th inning of the first game. She was then pinch ran for by Jillian Gardner, and Gardner came all the way around to score on a sac fly by Peyton Steffes. That was the winning run given to Jillian Gardner, but it was Ashley Chevalier's on base. Brooke Campo with a runner on first and no outs. She has a 3-run, pretty much a 2-run buffer, but 3 runs to give up, and a hit by pitch. Chevalier with her second hit by pitch of the day, and she'll strut down to first base. McCall Salmon not happy with it. It's the second time, maybe arguing Chevalier leaned over the plate. That is what she's arguing. But they're not going to change the call for that. So
looks like the Chippewa infielders are taking a quick break, talk things over, especially with the scenario that you have going on here with 2 Falcon runners on base. If you're the Chippewas, you cannot let some of those get home. Currently a 3-run game. things could get dicey.
Yeah, hit a hunt at the plate with no outs. And those two runners on. Campo, after talking to her infielders, winds up. This one ripped foul. Looked like there was some work going on in the bullpen. Sierra Alaska looks to be the one that was working, and she goes to retrieve the foul ball. It's the only reason I know that. Kind of tough to see the bullpens from our angle. 0-1 pitch from Campo to Hannah Hunt. A huge cut for the second baseman, and swings right through it. No balls, 2 strikes. Hannah Massaro on deck for the Falcons. Actually, it's Kendall Matthews, it looks like, on deck. Going to pinch hit for Massaro. Rings off of the pole. That holds up the netting. It's going to be another foul ball and keep it 0-2.
And Hunt, 238 batting average, starting all 20 games that she's appeared in. The senior from Pataskala, Ohio.
0-2 pitch from Campo. Again fouled off. This time on the right side, but over the netting behind her again. Still second and first. Chevalier at first base. Cam Kaufman at second. Kaufman reached on an error by the second baseman. Ashley Chevalier, pinch hitting for Ava McKee, was beaned with the softball. This one, ground ball to shortstop, playable for Cairo. Petrovic flips over to first base, but the throw is late. So they get the runner at second, but runners at the corners for Kendall Matthews, who will pinch hit for Hannah Massaro. Chance to get runs here for the Falcons in the bottom of the 6th inning.
And if you're Matthews, you got to try to put something out there, especially at this point, bottom of the 6th, 5-2. At least one run is necessary in this inning if you want a chance to win this game.
Delaney Davis will pinch run for Hannah Hunt at first base. So Davis at first, Cam Kaufman at third. Chevalier caught going to second. She is out, the only out of this inning. Double play still in order, but Kendall Matthews at the plate for the Falcons. Hitting the .189 this season. Big power. All 7 of her hits this season have been extra bases. 3 doubles and 4 home runs. Campo has not allowed a lot of deep strikes today for Bowling Green. Really none since the first inning triple by Cam Kaufman. This one way up high, stealing second is Delaney Davis. No throw from the catcher, Tolme. So now 2 runners in scoring position. A single might bring in both. Matthews and then Steffes up for the Falcons. 1-0 from Campo. Grounded foul by Matthews.
And if you're the Falcons, there shouldn't be too much worry. You should be decently comfortable in these types of situations. With the last month, seeing a couple of these games, the Falcons getting down, being perseverant, fighting back to win some of these games. Matthews just has to get something going.
Swings right through one, right down the middle. 1-2 is the count. Kendall Matthews up at the plate for the Falcons. Matthews, the transfer from Lakeland College, 2024, before transferring. 310, over 1,100 OPS. Ball up high, stopped by Tolme, the catcher. But it's 2-2 count for Matthews. Got a lot of power, Kendall Matthews does. A decent center fielder as well. Not too much contact. You see that 189 batting average. One over the middle, fouled back to the screen. A hard pitch that she was right on. And again, just the barrel below the ball.
And you mentioned that power, yet the contact with Matthews. 10 strikeouts, 8 walks, and 4 home runs. Bit of a interesting statistical line from there.
2-2, another one fouled off over the press box. 5-2, Central Michigan leads Bowling Green, but runners on second and third with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Falcons with 3 errors today have gone against them and resulted in 4 unearned runs. 2-2 pitch, off speed, got Matthews on the outside black. A beautiful pitch by Brooke Campo, and she brings it to 2 outs with Peyton Steffes up at the plate for the Falcons.
And the Falcons, interesting situation here. 2 outs, runners on second and third. Steffes trying to do something, keep the Falcons in this game.
Steffes takes strike one up at the waist. She had a walk in the second inning, a single in the fourth inning. Didn't go beyond first base, but on base is all the Falcons need. This one outside, Tomey stops it. 1-1 count for Steffes. She's reached base her last 2 at-bats. The plate appearance before that, a sacrifice fly out to left field to get Jillian Gardner in and win the game for Bowling Green. In game 1 of this doubleheader, pitch above the waist, just high, 2-1. Steffes trying to work the count. 2 outs with runners on second and third. Cam Kaufman at third. Delaney Davis pinch running for Hannah Hunt at second. Fouled back to the net. 2-2 the count from Campo. 20 starts, 6 complete games last season, a 4.87 ERA, just 7-11 record, and a 3.28 batting average against the number 2 starter for Central Michigan. This one lofted in the gap left field. That's going to get down and bring 2 in. Kaufman and Davis around to score. Peyton Steffes standing up at second base. A 2 RBI double for Peyton Steffes, and the Falcons within 1 of Central Michigan.
And that's Steffes' first double of the season, and what a way to have it, getting 2 runners in, giving her 7 RBIs in this season. What a hit for Steffes.
Kaufman comes around to score after reaching on an error. Delaney Davis, pinch running for Hannah Hunt, comes around to score from first base where she started. Hannah Simcoe with a runner still in scoring position on second. A big gap in right center field. All the field playing her to push the ball, and a strike called on the outside edge. She's had some pretty poor luck today, Hannah Simcoe has. A single in the first, she came around to score, and back-to-back nice hit attempts. Takes this one inside and low for ball 1. I guess low. I mean, I don't know exactly where it missed. Campo doesn't either. 1-1 the count, 2 outs, runner on second base. Peyton Steffes has wheels. So if you find some grass, likely she's going to come around and score. Up high, a routine take for Simcoe. Didn't even really pull the bat off of her shoulder. Hutter on deck, Barron in the hole. 2 outs, though, for Simcoe. The freshman looks at, just away. What a pitch from Campo, who wanted the call. 3-1 the count, a favorable count with a runner on second for Simcoe. Hutter on deck. The 3-1 from Campo, sliced foul. This could be a big at-bat.
Absolutely.
And the outcome of the game, just a run down of Central Michigan with 3 outs for each team left. Technically 4 for BG right now. Full count from Campo to Simcoe.
I was going to say, yeah, 3-2 count, 2 outs, Simcoe at bat.
Puts it in play, pops it up to third base. Grace Koenig under it, and a soft out to end the 6th inning. A productive one, though, for the Falcons. They get 2 runs on a big double by Peyton Steffes to bring 2 home, and Bowling Green trails just 1 going into the final inning. Madison Wendell will take the circle again for the Falcons. You're listening to BGSU Softball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Northwest Ohio's community radio station is currently looking for music submissions from local and regional artists. As a local non-commercial radio station, WBGU celebrates local musicians and offers opportunities for independent artists to get their music out to the local community on 88.1 FM and worldwide on bgfalconmedia.com. Submit your materials now by snail mail or Facebook. Get your music on local radio with WBGU, Northwest Ohio's community radio station.
Hi, I'm Laura Mahoney from BGSU Women's Soccer Team, and my Falcon 4 favorite summer activities are going to the pool with my friends and spending time with them, cookouts because I get to spend time with my family, tanning because it's relaxing and it's out in the sun, and getting ice cream because everybody loves ice cream.
Back here in Reserve Field, last inning of play here between Central Michigan and Bowling Green. Likely it's 5-4 Central Michigan lead. 3 runs in the first, runs back-to-back in the third and the fourth to get Central Michigan to 5. The Falcons with 2 in the first, 2 in the most recent half inning, the sixth, the bottom of the sixth. And now Central Michigan leads off Emma Lotus, then Jenna Kuzera, and London Williams, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. So they got middle of the lineup. The Falcons do as well coming up in the bottom of the 7th. And this is best on best, the Falcons chasing a run. Lotus grounds it foul down the first base line. Singled in the first inning, out trying for second. Advanced the runner, though. And then back-to-back ground balls to the pitcher in the second and the fourth inning. Kuzera she has reached base twice out of 3 plate appearances. London Williams has done the same. Pitch just away from Lotus. A 1-1 count. Emma Lotus had a hit in each of her last 5 games played. Went hitless in game 1 today. Looking for a hit here, and she got it through the third baseman and the shortstop. In shallow left field, a single for Emma Lotus. A leadoff knock to bring up the 3-hitter Kuzera with no outs.
And a great placement there from Kuzera. Martin playing a little bit closer on that third base line. Obviously, Kaufman, the shortstop, going through both of them and going into left field.
Fouled back to the screen past Ashley Chevalier, who's in the game to catch now. She pinch hit for Ava McKee, and McKee did not re-enter. Hannah Hunt, who was pinch ran for by Delaney Davis, did re-enter. Hunt playing second base for the Falcons. 0-1 pitch from Madison Wendell outside, no frame from Chevalier, and it's left away. A 1-1 count to Kuzera. Kuzera singled in the third inning, scored a run, reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning, scored a run, and then flew out her most recent at-bat. This one lifted out in the air, deep to center field, over the head of Matthews, and it's gone. A dead center home run for Jenna Kuzera. She brings 2 home, and Central Michigan now leads 7-4.
And great hit there from her over the fence, right near the flagpole. If you're a Chippewa fan, you've got to be excited about that 7-4 lead for them.
Kuzera has her 4th home run of the season, tied London Williams for the team lead at that mark. Williams steps to the plate now, and the Falcons claw within 1, and now it's back up to a 3-run lead for Central Michigan. Back to square one are the Falcons going into the bottom of the 7th. Madison Wendell with 2 earned runs there. And the top of the 7th. First pitch to Williams is a strike. Another strike given to London Williams. She's got an 0-2 count.
And Williams, 13 strikeouts so far this season. If she were to, would be the first out of this inning.
7-4 Central Michigan leads. Top of the 7th inning. Swing and a miss. A pitch on the outside. That's a comeback at bat for Madison Wendell to get her in 3. First time that London Williams has struck out today, and Grace Koenig steps up to the plate. She reached on an error to Cam Kaufman, a hard hit ball in the 5th inning. 2 before that, she doubled in both. 101 hits in her career for Grace Koenig. She passed that with the first double today in the 1st inning. Came around to score in that same play. She got no runners on, 1 out in the top of the 7th. Wendell, it's a foul ball from Koenig. Makes it a 1-1 count.
And if you're the Falcons, you got to really work here to not allow any more runs. You've had some innings where you've put a lot of runs together, right? You talk about Coastal Carolina, 5-run inning, but you can't afford too much more.
Lofted up to Hannah Simcoe in left field. She makes the catch over her head. First time you've got Grace Koenig out cleanly today on a fly out to left field. Haven't had much success against her. BG hasn't last year either. 3 for 7 she was against the Falcons in the 3-game series up in Mount Pleasant last year. 2 walks, 2 runs. Hitless in the middle game. Broke a 5-game hit streak around that time. She's been impressive, especially in the second game. 2 doubles and reaching as well on her second most recent at bat. But 0-1 first pitch strike to Tori Briggs with 2 outs for Madison Wendell. Line drive back up the middle, just wide of the glove of Wendell, who reached out to try and make the catch. Tough play for the pitcher, right up the middle anyway. A single for Tori Briggs, her second of the game. Bringing up Rachel Cairo with 2 outs and a runner on first.
That truly was so close to Wendell getting that right by her glove, but results in a single. Chippewas, 2 outs in this inning.
Middle of the order doing all the damage for Central Michigan. Lotus and Kuzera with 2 hits each. Williams with 1. Koenig with 3. And Briggs with 2. That's 5 in a row with a hit. Only 2 hits besides that. Rachel Cairo will step up to the plate. She's 0 for 3. One of only 3 players today that are 0 for. Petrovic 0 for 4. Cairo 0 for 3. And Tolme 0 for 2, although she was pinch hit for. Ashley Bila. Pinch running, Ella Lugi, a freshman, has played 11 games, 4 runs scored, no at-bats during her 11 games played. She's pinch running first base for Tori Briggs. The 0-1 pitch coming from Madison Wendell with 2 outs. Ground ball over toward third base, cut off by Addie Martin. She'll throw over to first. A scoop made by Taylor Barron to get the out. Addie Martin throws just a bit low, scrapes dirt. 2 runs in the 7th inning for Central Michigan, brings their lead back up to 3, and the Falcons need 3 in the bottom of the 7th to force extras here against the Chippewas. You're listening to Falcon Softball here on WBGU 88.1 FM. Back here at Missouri Field, the Falcons trailing 3 runs to Central Michigan, and a new pitcher in the game for the Chippewas. It is Sierra Alaska, actually the main reliever for Central Michigan, pretty much. She's got the best ERA on the team in her 12 relief appearances, and she's in the game to try and shut down the Falcons. They have Katie Hutter, Taylor Barrett, and Addie Martin up to the dish. Katie Hutter, the designated player today, looking to get the Falcons on the board. They need 3 runs at least to force extras and 4 to win. If they did so, that'd be a second walk-off of the game, or of the day for the Falcons. They had a walk-off sac fly in the first game. Alaska deals outside, gets strike 1 on the black.
And this is Katie Hutter for the Falcons.
And we've talked about how gritty and perseverant this team is many times before. A lot of big innings that they've come back down from. It'll be interesting to see what they can string together here in this final inning.
Second pitch is a ball, 1-1, the count to Katie Hutter from Sierra, Alaska. Falcons down to their last 3 outs of the game. Alaska trying to shut those down. Neal's up high, middle of the plate again for Katie Hutter. Hutter puts together some good at-bats. Definitely not much of a strikeout threat. There's a foul back to the screen. Makes it 2-2. Laska has most innings pitched this season for her. 5 innings against George Mason on February 6th. 2 earned runs during that time and an 8-7 one-run loss. Laska's pitch floats way high, an odd spinner, and it's to a full count for Katie Hutter. She's walked, struck out, and popped out to the shortstop today and looking to reach base for her second time. This one fouled back to the netting again, the left-handed hitter. Laska had 1 appearance last season versus Bowling Green, 2 innings pitched, 1 earned run, and a strikeout. Held the game at 6-4 for Central Michigan to get the win. Full count. Inside, strike 3. At the waist, a good pitch from Sierra Laska to strike out Katie Hutter looking.
And Hutter coming into this weekend only with 10 strikeouts. Adds another one there to her tally.
Taylor Barrett, Addie Martin coming up for the Falcons. Barrett has a double in the first inning and a run scored and nothing in her 2 at-bats since, including her 3rd strikeout of the year in the 3rd inning. Takes a first pitch strike. Addie Martin's also struggled today for the Falcons. 0 for 6 on her 6 at-bats. 0-1 pitch outside, and Barrett touches it back to the netting. Five hits for the Falcons today, 2 for Peyton Steffes, 1 each for Hannah Simcoe, Taylor Barrett, and Cameron Kaufman. Barrett's got an 0-2 count. Laska gets a slow dribbler over to second base. Petrovich makes the play to Williams at first, and 2 outs. The Falcons down to their last. And Addie Martin will step to the dish for BG.
And as you mentioned, Addie Martin struggling a lot between these 2 games at bat. Be interesting to see here if she can get something going.
7-4 lead for Central Michigan with 1 out to get. Addie Martin swings through the first pitch. Another one just above her waist. She's got an 0-1 count today. 0 for 6, as we mentioned, on the day as a whole through 2 games. That pitch outside, and she swings through it as well. Oh for 2, or 0-2 is Addie Martin. Laska with another high one, and that one Addie got a piece of. Fouled it back to the screen. Still an 0-2 count. She reached an 0-2 count and seen only 3 pitches, 3 of 4 at-bats today. Her first at-bat, she popped out to the first baseman in her first pitch. 0-2 pitch again, fouled back to the screen. A good fight from number 0 and the Falcon third baseman.
Coach Gardner, encouraging Martin through this time at bat.
This one popped up in the air over and on top of the press box. Still an 0-2 count. Addie Martin has put together 3 straight foul balls following 2 straight strikes. Sierra Laska in the circle delivers another 0-2, and again, it's spoiled by Martin.
And an incredible fight by Martin, who struggled so much today, staying in this box. A couple fouls, but she's fighting.
Still an 0-2. Laska delivers up high, strike 3. Got Addie Martin swinging. And the Falcons and the Chippewas will split their 2 games today. BG with a 1-0 win. Central Michigan with a 7-4 victory over the Falcons in game number 2. Bowling Green and Central Michigan both 1-1 in conference play. Their opening day of conference play today. And a much more exciting second game it was than the first. At least more runs scored, but still not a bad game played by either side, and especially the pitchers for the Falcons.
Yeah, absolutely. In that first game, really kind of a stalemate, a battle of the pitchers. Falcons end up coming on top 1-0. This one, main cause of the runs were from errors, a lot of errors from Bowling Green in the infield that led to a lot of Central Michigan runs. On the other side, BGSU, a lot of well-placed balls into that outfield to allow them to get success on base.
3 errors for the Falcons, 2 of them by Addie Martin on throws, 1 of them by Hannah Hunt in the field. That was the first play of the game for Hannah Hunt. 1 error for Central Michigan. That was Angela Petrovich, and that error really didn't cause anything for the Falcons. 7-4, Central Michigan led and won against Bowling Green. Brooke Campo started for Central Michigan, 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 4 total runs given up, but 2 of them unearned, 7 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 119 pitches against the Falcons. Sierra Alaska came in to close out the day for Central Michigan. 1 inning pitched, 17 pitches, 2 strikeouts, and that last 3 outs that she had to get, 3 straight batters that she got with those 2 strikeouts. An impressive pitching performance all around for Central Michigan today. Dawson, who was able to hold BG to just 1 in the first game, very well could have been 0, and then also holding the Falcons to just 2 earned in the second game.
Absolutely, yeah. We talked about how good of pitchers Campo and Langen are. They got it done in this second one for sure. First one also doing very well, apart from obviously that last inning. But if you're either team, you're not too upset about this one. It'll be very interesting to see what goes on in the next game tomorrow.
Madison Wendell, the starter for Bowling Green, went 7 innings, a complete game for her, 3 earned runs, 7 runs total given up by the Falcons, but 4 of them unearned on those errors that we mentioned before. 108 pitches, 12 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 strikeouts, no walks for Madison Wendell, one of her best games pitched of the season. She pitched very well against Central Michigan, and again, this is one of the top offenses in the Mid-American Conference, 3rd, I believe, and she, the sophomore, against her former team, was able to hold them pretty low.
Absolutely, yeah, great game from Wendell. 4.80 ERA coming into this one. 2 strikeouts, 7 runs allowed.
Look to those 12 hits as well, which is a season high in hits allowed for her. Her next high was 10 and 5 1/3 against Lipscomb. Still not a bad outing for her. She had this is her first game of complete in her career that she's completed a game and pitched very well. Just a couple of errors, especially in the first inning, that prompted Central Michigan and boosted them on top. Only 2 pitchers used today for the Falcons. It was Mackenzie Kraftsick and Madison Wendell. Wendell gets the loss for the Falcons in Game 2. And actually she doesn't. She gets no decisions, 4 runs scored by the Falcons. And Mackenzie Kraftsick gets the win Game 1 for Bowling Green. As we mentioned, the errors, 2 for Addie Martin, 1 for Hannah Hunt in the infield for the Falcons. Angela Petrovich, 1 at second base for Central Michigan. Something about second base. Hannah Hunt, the second baseman, with 2 errors. Angela Petrovich with 1 of her own at second base for Central Michigan. And that middle of the order for Central Michigan really did most of the damage. They had all but 2 of their hits, 10 of them within the middle 5 batters of Emma Lotus, London Williams, Grace Koenig, Tori Briggs, and Cairo as well. They did a fantastic job today at taking care of business against Madison Wendell.
Absolutely, yeah. And if you're the Falcons, especially looking back on this one and moving into tomorrow, the biggest thing you're going to be focusing on kind of is those errors. Falcons typically playing a pretty clean game, but those errors accounting for a lot of the trouble for the Falcons.
Bowling Green, their hits, 5 of them, 2 came from Peyton Steffish. She had 2 RBIs out of the 4 runs scored for the Falcons. The other 2 RBIs, Taylor Barrett and Cam Kaufman, both of them with single hits. Hannah Simcoe with another hit on a lot of good tries. She's been impressive for the Falcons lately. Just as a freshman, she had a hit, a run, and her 4 at-bats, and everybody else hitless. And the biggest one there, 2 strikeouts and 4 at-bats for Addie Martin. She went hitless today as a whole through the 2 games rather than just through the second one. And Addie's really somebody that you need to pick up her offense because she's stabilizing that middle of the lineup.
Absolutely, yeah. She is a powerhouse, and we talk about how many of those power statistics that she is leading in. bit of an off day for her, but she'll be for sure looking to get revenge back tomorrow.
Two best hitters for the Falcons last season, Addie Martin and Hannah Hunt, both went 0 for today. Hunt had one walk but didn't have a hit otherwise, and Addie Martin, as we mentioned, 0 for 7 in her 7 at-bats today. The Falcons with 9 strikeouts to only 3 walks. That's not the greatest ratio, especially when you look to Madison Wendell and her giving up no walks to 2 strikeouts. That's something maybe to clean up as the strikeouts, and something that really hasn't plagued Bowling Green too much this season. I mean, their career high and or their season high in strikeouts is 11. That was against Towson the Falcons had. So I mean, they were pretty much right there, and all 3 of these pitchers for Central Michigan did a good job of inducing swing and misses, and the Falcons especially chasing those high pitches.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's what I was going to mention too, is those high pitches that the Falcons just couldn't get comfortable with, kept swinging at them even later in the game. So it'll be very interesting to see how they move on from that for sure.
Yeah, the Falcons with a 7-4 loss to Central Michigan today. We have to stay on the air until Dan Ridenauer, our board operator, is able to get back into the studio to take us off. So bear with us right now as we continue to talk Bowling Green softball. The Falcons with a 12-8 record in 2026 before the Mid-American Conference play started. They played 2 Mid-American Conference games, both of them today, 1-0 win in the first game, and loss in the second game 7-4, so they're 1-1 in Mid-American Conference play. And a pretty good start to the season for head coach Michelle Gardner. Improved on the record 2 years ago last season, especially in conference play, and looking to do so the same. There's a pretty good Central Michigan team, and to be able to take a win in a shutout too for Mackenzie Kraftsick is a big one.
Absolutely, yeah. And kind of looking around the MAC, a lot of other games going on today, starting out with at Kent State. UMass played them. Kent State ended up getting the win 10-6. Obviously, we had Bowling Green Central Michigan 1-0. Toledo and Ohio playing a close one in Toledo. Toledo ends up coming out on top 7-6. Akron and Ball State playing in Muncie. Akron ends up getting the win at Ball State 5-3. Northern Illinois with a huge game over Buffalo 16-8. And then Miami with a doubleheader versus Western Michigan. Miami winning both of those 6-5 and 9-1. So a lot of action going on this Saturday afternoon. A lot of games. That's crazy with that 16-8 Buffalo Northern Illinois win in DeKalb. Big deficit there.
Yeah, that is a big game. I mean, 8 runs, any way you put it. That's a large one. And I imagine, I don't know, does it have a final in innings? Yeah, final in 5 innings. So that's 16 runs scored in 5 innings too with the run rule. That's a very, a very large confidence booster for NIU, and maybe not so much for Buffalo. They were one of the bottom teams in the Mid-American Conference last season, and probably going to be again this season as well. Games that are not registered yet, Central Michigan and Bowling Green, of course, with the 1-1. NCAA hasn't recognized that yet. Western Michigan and Miami of Ohio playing a doubleheader, as you mentioned, and Miami of Ohio able to come away with the sweep. That's a big one, too. Western Michigan's a pretty good team, and Miami of Ohio continuing what a run that they've been on the last few years and being able to win the MAC championships that they've been able to.
Absolutely, yeah. Miami voted number 1 in the preseason poll by the coaches, 116 points. They got 5 votes as the tournament champion as well. One of the interesting things to me is that Toledo-Ohio game, Toledo winning 7-6. Ohio voted as the number 2 team in the Mid-American Conference with 108 points. Mm-hmm. Toledo ranks 6th. They have a doubleheader tomorrow back in Toledo at 12-2. It'll be interesting to see how those games shake out as well.
Yeah, the Falcons today, of course, as we mentioned a couple of times, a split with Central Michigan, a 7-4 loss in Game 2 and a 1-0 win in Game 1. So 1-1 in conference play are the Falcons. We continue to have to talk on the air. Dan Ridenauer still can't get back into the studio. So in lieu of dead air, we'll continue to talk about BG softball and beyond. We will take a step into what's going on in the rest of BGSU athletics. Today, Bowling Green baseball plays Miami of Ohio. That one started at 3 p.m. We're going to check the live stats here right now. 10-0. The Falcons leading Miami of Ohio, who's 12-4. This is a big game for the Falcons. Titus Lotz on the mound right now. For the Falcons, Nate Kress started, 5 innings pitched, no earned runs, and only 5 hits, a hit per inning for him. 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. A big day in the pitching circle. On the mound, I should say. C.J. Bedreau with 2 innings pitched and no earned runs. Titus Lotz in the game right now. He's just through his first third. Miami of Ohio is pretty much struggled. They have 8 earned runs out of their 10 total runs given up. The Falcon bats 2 for 3 is Griffin Schroeder. He's got 4 runs scored today as well. He's reached on 2 walks, reaching base 4 times in 5 plate appearances today. Sam Seidel, 3 for 4. Anthony Midda, 1 for 5, batting third today. Vinny Salvioni, 2 for 4, 3 RBIs, and a run scored. There's a BG baseball team that kind of needs a win like this. I believe nearly everybody in the order, actually everybody in the order besides Zach Corky batting last, has a hit or has reached base. The Falcons with 5 walks and 12 hits and lead 10-0 with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th inning. I don't know how much you know about the baseball team, Dawson, but, I mean, you can look at that score, 10-0, and say that's a pretty solid day that they're putting together against a 12-4 Miami of Ohio team.
No, absolutely. And going into this one, right, their first series of this year against Kent State, they only end up winning one of those, winning 1 and losing 2. Those scores 1-8, 7-2, the one that the Falcons won, and then losing 13-1. So to see that much of a deficit from the Red Hawks versus the Falcons, that's always great to see. Falcons lost the first one 5-8 in a close one. That was yesterday at 7:15 p.m. First pitch was, but yeah, no, definitely a great comeback win, I guess you could say, for the Falcons in their baseball season so far.
BG scored 5 runs in the last 2 innings of yesterday's game to bring the score to 8-5. Miami beat Bowling Green. They were up 8-0 after 7 complete innings of play, and then 5 runs scored by the Falcons unanswered. Vinny Salvioni with a 3-run home run, Zach Corky with a RBI triple, and then scored on a wild pitch, those in the 9th inning. But BG fell short in that game. I believe they're going to play Miami of Ohio again on Sunday at McKee Field and Hayden Park in Oxford, Ohio. That tomorrow is at 1 p.m. Watchable on ESPN Plus, the Falcon Media Sports Network. Have a preview up, but also we'll have a recap available after the completion of the game. And, of course, BGSU softball against Central Michigan, the home series, first of the year, first MAC series of the year as well, ends at noon tomorrow with noon first pitch against Central Michigan. That'll be big for the Falcons, trying to get a series win to start the season, as they did last year against Buffalo on the road and against Kent State at home at the start of MAC play. Other stuff going on. We got Spring League soccer going on. Bowling Green men's soccer plays Michigan, and I forget what it's called exactly, but it's a Michigan tournament that they play every year. Women's soccer playing Findlay at Cochran Stadium, just a few steps away from us, actually, here in Bowling Green. That game started at 1. Nothing posted about the conclusion of the game, but Spring League and that Findlay game was a friendly game, so nothing huge happening for the men's and women's soccer teams, but some anticipation for the soccer seasons coming forward. The next week for Bowling Green baseball and women's and softball, Bowling Green baseball plays Findlay at 3 p.m. at Stellar Field here. That's the home opener for the Falcons, and a non-conference game against Findlay, 3 p.m. this Tuesday, March 17th. Now, I'm pretty sure it's going to be freezing as all get out that game, so I really doubt they're going to play. But that game or the weekend series that they'll play against Ohio will be the first time that spectators can come watch a game on the brand new turf field with all the things that they were able to put in, some padding on the fences, the new lights for Bowling Green baseball, which I don't believe they play a night game this weekend, but you still get to go see them. Pretty cool, and some good excitement around this BG baseball team that's got a pretty good win in the bag today, I'd say, against Miami of Ohio.
Absolutely, yeah. And this evening, if you have nothing to do on this kind of St. Patrick's Day weekend, the men's basketball beats for Falcon Media Sports Network, that would be Artie Abrego, Foster Rosti, and Tyler Cavalis, will be live at around 8 o'clock for the MAC championship game live on Falcon Radio. So if you want to catch that game, be sure to listen streaming live on bgfalconmedia.com.
Central Michigan defeats Bowling Green 7-4 in Game 2 of the doubleheader. The first game, Bowling Green won 1-0 on a walk-off sack fly by Peyton Steffes. And the Falcons 1-1 in conference play. They'll be back at it at noon tomorrow. Dawson Pelter and Coyle Withrow will be on the call for that game, I believe, on Falcon Radio, if I'm not mistaken. One of the two stations, both of them stream on bgfalconmedia.com. So at game time tomorrow, tune in to either Falcon Radio or WBGU 88.1 FM for that. For right now, from Meserve Field, for the first time of the 2026 BGSU softball season, we say so long, and we'll talk to you next time. You're listening to Falcon Softball here on WBGU 88.1 FM.